All right, everybody, get ready for a deep dive because today we're tackling something, let's just say a little bit different.
Different, good, or different. Hold on to your hats.
Oh, definitely hold on to your hats territory because we're talking about ditching the 9 to 5, which a lot of people dream about.
Right.
But get this, our source material is a first-hand account from someone who quit their remote job with nothing else lined up.
Wow, no safety net. That's a bold move.
That's putting it mildly. So you ready to jump into this and see what went down?
Absolutely. Let's unpack this.
Okay, so right off the bat, the details about their actual job are kind of vague.
Okay.
They just say it was a typical remote 9 to 5, you know the drill. But there's this feeling, this like undercurrent of being trapped.
Trapped, even though they're remote.
Yeah. And they actually use the phrase soul-crushing routine.
Oh, wow. Yeah, that's pretty intense. I mean, that really speaks to this feeling of disconnect between like what you're doing every day, those tasks, and then, your actual purpose, your goals. We see this a lot with remote work, right? People are physically free from the office, but they're still stuck in this box of their job.
It's like the cubicle walls just become mental walls instead.
Exactly.
And that's where things get really interesting because it's not like they just woke up one morning and were like, I'm out of here.
Okay.
They were saving, thinking about their options,
Yeah.
not being totally reckless.
Right. So some level of planning, some forethought. Gotcha.
But then there's this trigger event, this thing that happens that just kind of pushes them over the edge.
What happened?
They get passed over for a promotion, and here's the kicker.
Yeah.
They were the ones who recommended their colleague for the position. They genuinely thought that person was the best fit.
Wow. Okay, so it's not even about the lost opportunity. It's got to be something more.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's like a light bulb moment, you know. Reading their account, you can almost hear them thinking, wait, I don't even want to climb this ladder anymore.
I can see that, yeah. The values clash is so apparent there. Like, you're invested in the company, you want to see it succeed, but then you realize the path to success within that company is not a path you even want to be on.
And that's when they dropped the mic. No 2 weeks notice, they were just gone.
Yeah.
And they didn't have some big plan like a side hustle waiting in the wings, nothing. They took a month, went hiking, reconnected with family,
Yeah.
just breathed.
Yeah, I gotta say, that's both terrifying and amazing.
Right. It flies in the face of every career advice article out there. And, I'm not saying everyone should just up and quit their jobs, but there's something to be said for taking that time for yourself, figuring out what you actually want.
Totally. It's that whole self-assessment thing. Like, yeah, you can jump right into the next job search, but if you haven't figured out what you truly want, you might end up right back in that soul-crushing situation.
It's like the saying, jumping from one frying pan into the fire.
Ooh, too true.
Okay, but let's get real for a second. This worked out for them, but there are definitely some potential downsides here. What are some things people need to consider before even thinking about doing something like this?
Well, first and foremost, financial stability. Our source mentioned having some savings, a buffer, which is absolute crucial. You need that runway, especially when there's no other job lined up. And then there's the whole career trajectory thing. If you're out of the game for too long, it can be tough to get back in.
It's all about finding that balance, right? Taking risks, but calculated ones.
Sure.
So, just to be clear, this deep dive, it's not a how-to guide. It's more like a glimpse into this really unconventional path. But what's so fascinating to me is that it makes you question what success even means. Like maybe it's not always a straight climb up the corporate ladder.
That's such a good point. It really challenges the traditional definition, doesn't it? And it forces you to confront, like, what are your values? What truly fulfills you? Is it that corner office or is it something else entirely?
Yeah, big questions, no easy answers.
Exactly.
Well, listeners, on that note, we're going to leave you with something to ponder. Imagine just for a second that you did have the freedom to redesign your work life from scratch. No limitations, just pure possibility. What would be the first thing you change? What would your ideal day look like? Think about it. And until next time, happy diving.